Instead of just gawking at the firefly monsters, maybe I should go in here and find a secret passage. Nice. And I do believe this will take us to yet another, energy part. Which I think is going to be energy part number 3, so one more and we can actually have a full-fledged energy tank. Which I could actually desperately use. You'd think we would have more energy at this point in the game, as we are trucking right along without too much of a problem, really. But coming up is, I don't know. Maybe the most problematic part of the game as we are in, superheated area, taking damage because we don't have our Varia suit. More on that later, though, as we've got a good old-fashioned chase sequence right here between Samus and this very cool-looking lava monster. Oh, get out of the way. Looks like it's got it out for us here, man. I do love moments like these in this game here. Where not only do we have music that makes everything really tense, but also we have really kind of fast-paced action and a lot of dodging, a lot of really grandiose images. Oh! The giant things trying to kill Samus and stuff like that really makes you feel like she is surviving something that is much, much bigger than herself. Especially this thing right here, which seems to definitely have a vendetta of some sort. But, we're still taking damage, so let's go on and get out of here and... Oh, there we go. Yeah, that part is pretty problematic, but we will talk about that in a second because we have something up there. It seems to be a flying hornet's nest, or a flying beastie nest, rather. Let's go ahead and take care of these Zabezians, though. I don't think I made enough use of actually the overblast that we can do on one of these guys. And since there's just a couple of them around anymore, we're not being swamped by like 3 or 4 of them, it does make it a bit more valid of a strategy in order to use that right here. So, looks like it takes about 2 overblasts. Oh! With those things coming in here, and those are the flaming variety of those flying monsters right there, which is going to be lots of fun, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and take out the Zabezians, though.
Won't have any impact on the enemies around here. Samus, use your ice beam.
Alright, so I guess because we absolutely need it, we have the Ice Beam, making its grand return. I mean, it's been around since the very beginning there. So yeah, we can actually harm these fire enemies now. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the Zabezian right here, because I don't think these will respawn infinitely. Those beasts definitely will, as long as that hive is up there, though. Let's go ahead and cool that down and pump it full of missiles. Okay, so I think that moment right there actually illustrates the reason... I'm not going to say one of the reasons, but maybe one of the justifications behind the authorization system, or at least why certain tools are authorized when they are. But first I'm going to get an Excel charge right here. Again, the Excel charges are actually like some of the most missable items in the game, which is kind of weird because of how important they really are. But how do I get out of here, actually? I've kind of forgotten. Let's see, I came up here through here, so can I just get up here? I thought I could get up here, though. I wasn't paying attention. I was rambling too much. Yeah, that vent is right there. I just missed it because of the weird angle. That's right. But yeah, I think the logic behind that is that it's such a cool moment when you're kind of surrounded by tough enemies, and then boom, you have a tool to defeat them. I think maybe that was the justification behind Sakamoto's decision to just lock weird upgrades behind walls like that. You're like, oh, you can't deal with it, but now you can, because arbitrary reasons and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess whenever Adam sees that, we're in immediate danger, he's not afraid to authorize things that could save our life, right? Well, that comes into why that little segment right there of Samus going through the superheated area is also quite problematic. Because, okay, let's just think about this logically for a second. As we're going to have a new one of these right here. In fact, I think these are the types that we saw in Zero Mission, because they seem to be a lot bigger and much scarier, actually. But thankfully, they are quite slow, so we can go ahead and freeze them. Oh yeah, I should probably mention the qualities of the Ice Beam here, shouldn't I? I mean, it's pretty much just like the old days. You can freeze enemies. I don't think you can use them as platforms in this game because it's really not needed in order to do that. But you can freeze them, and what it'll do is it'll actually immobilize them now. Let's go ahead and try to lock on you. Oh, crap. What I wanted to do is go through that vent that I just cooled down because there's a secret in there. But the Ice Beam will actually mobilize these enemies and make it easier to hit them with missiles, especially for the big guys who have very large feet anchoring themselves to the ground right there. So yeah, what you can do is do that, and just stand right in front of them and pump them full of missiles. That's definitely a valid way of taking care of those guys right there. But let's go ahead and get into this vent now, after maybe it's not spewing flame. And I think we should have a missile in here. Fantastic. In a really weird place. It's actually not standing upright. It's actually really weird indeed. But like I was saying, so it is quite problematic when we are going through that superheated area, and I can't think of a reason why she shouldn't have the Varia suit activated right there. And granted, I think that is probably the most problematic / offensive part of the authorization system in Other M. If you ever talk to anyone who does not like Other M about that little tidbit right there, about that aspect of this game, that's usually the number one thing that they will point towards why the authorization is a very good isn't a very good system whatsoever, and yeah, that is definitely the most egregious example that we have. Because it's one thing to kind of restrict weaponry due to vague damage reasons, you know, we don't want to damage anything that might be important, but there is literally zero reason to go around with less defense than you actually could. And granted, I don't know if this is just an Adam problem either, it seems to be a Samus problem as well, because why did you get to the bottle ship not wearing the Various suit? In fact, why would you ever take the Various suit off? Like, why would you ever disable that? I don't really understand. There doesn't seem to be a valid reason for doing that at all, because again, what could possibly be the negatives right there? So, when I said at the very beginning that there were definitely problematic things that come from the authorization system, that's mainly what I was talking about, the Various suit not being activated. But of course, that's just kind of from a narrative point of view. I can get why it wasn't done from a gameplay standpoint, because they really wanted to heighten the tension by not only being chased by that— oh god, I'm gonna go all the way down there. I think we die if we fall all the way down here. I think there's like a flaming pile of trash down there or something. But I mean, I can see why they did it, because it heightens the tension, it makes that whole segment much more anxiety-ridden, a lot more uncomfortable, things like that. And fine, I mean, like I said at the very beginning, I understand the gameplay justification behind needing the authorization system, or at least some system, to explain why Samus has to get all of her upgrades. And yeah, I mean, if there wasn't a perfectly explainable reason why she shouldn't have the Various suit activated, that segment would be a bit more cool, but again, that entails me turning off my brain and not listening to common sense, which just— you just can't do that, man. But, I mean, the best part is that that is the most egregious example of why this thing doesn't work, is we're gonna have yet another one of the segments right here. Oh yeah, this little segment gave me, like, the most trouble for the longest time, because these guys right here, they take so many freaking hits, you just have to pummel them over and over and over, and what they can do is that the lava is not an insta-kill in this game. If you fall into it, you will take damage, but it doesn't mean that you're dead for good. So what it'll do is it'll just kind of slowly take away your health, and you have to wade slowly back to the rocks in order to get out of the freaking lava. And that could just be really stressful. So I remember when I first played this the first time, I didn't know you could kill these things because they just take hit after hit after hit after hit. So I was really struggling to get past them and not get knocked into the lava by them, and I got several game overs at this part. Like, I've told you guys which parts in this game so far that I've had a lot of problems with from a difficulty standpoint, but this is the first one where it was like I was just dying over and over, and I was just thinking, what am I doing wrong? But it turns out you just kind of have to wail on these ice— what are those? They're like, not ice mud monsters, they're more like fire mud monsters, really. This is something you would see like Castlevania, I feel. So what you have to do is you just gotta pummel them, and I would recommend taking down every single one of them, because again, they can knock you into the lava, and if they do knock you into the lava, well, that's probably a game over, yeah. So this is another example of how problematic the aspect of not having the Various suit is, although I guess our health does not go down nearly as fast as it did in the old classic games when you go would go into an area that you didn't have suit protection from. But the thing is, another weird thing is that I don't think you were ever forced in any Metroid game prior to this to actually go into a heat-filled area without the Various suit. At least not from what I can remember. I don't think we had to do it in Zero Mission, I don't think we had to do it in Super, and I don't think it was a thing in Fusion either. It may have been a thing as far as the cold was concerned, but not the heat like this. So, one, it's just really weird that we would have to do that for one, although I do get why, you know, kind of mix it up, seem things to be a bit more threatening, you know, make everything much more tense and things like that. Yeah, I get it. But the fact that it's never happened before, coupled with how the authorization system makes absolutely zero sense in this context, I don't know, just makes it that much harder to swallow, in my opinion. Okay, let's go ahead and call off this guy, and then just 3 more missiles right here. Okay, well, I think that's the only amount of suffering that we're gonna— No, I'm wrong. We're gonna have to do it again. But, oh, speaking of difficulty, this is another enemy that really gave me some problems starting off with. I don't even know what you call this. This is like a crab? Some kind of crustacean enemy or something like this? And this is another example of an enemy that controls the pace instead of Samus controlling the pace. We haven't really had an enemy like this since the kind of mechanoids that we had all the way back in the Biosphere sector. So what you have to do, really, the easy way to do this, and I said that was really difficult because when I first played this, I didn't really know how to handle this boss fight right here, but the easy way to take care of that guy right here is I believe there's something we can bomb in here. Or at least something we can activate. Can I activate this console quite yet? Open up. I guess not, but I know there's something I can bomb around here. At least that's what I remember. But yeah, that guy right there, he gave me a lot of problems because I didn't really know how to fight him. And you can't really spam the dodges in that game either, in that fight either, because of the angles in which that weird crustacean boss actually approaches you from. Actually, I think we try to go out here. Yeah, I can go out here. I know there's something I gotta do in here. Actually, I think it might be... It's not something I have to missile, is it? I swear to God, there was a power-up in here, and I'm just forgetting. Yeah, I can see 2 of them on the screen right there. Hold up, let me look around here a bit more. So something weird is going on. Well, there's that missile tank right there. That is not what I thought that I had to do, though. I thought we had to do something with activating this guy right here, and it would reveal it, but I think that'll be fine right there. And I think the one power-up that I see off to the left right here, we can actually access from out here, maybe? I know that there is something. Yeah, there's that vent right there. Very easy to miss. There we go. Alright, so that's how we're going to get everything in here. Nice! Okay, so that's going to be 24, and I think that's the most... Yeah, when I was thinking of bombing, I guess I was just getting confused with this little vent right here, so okay, yeah. I knew I could get both of those right at that moment, I just forgot how. And, well, I still think it's really stupid that we're taking damage and we can't activate the Varia feature, but it is a really cool image right here going up to this very active volcano, very dangerous looking. Okay, let's try to dodge out of the way of these guys. I don't even think I need to defeat these little spider guys. Yeah, we can just continue on. We are almost dead, though. Wow, they did a good job of really sucking all our health out. That sequence right there, between getting the ice beam, having to survive the lava, taking down the crustacean mini-boss, and then that one right there, whew. Yeah, that's a real kind of difficulty jump. That'll kick you in the teeth if you aren't ready. And the elevator back to the main sector, huh? Well, at least progression is still pretty smooth so far. I mean, you guys already know what a linear game this has really been so far, but... great, more Zebesians right here. So I think, actually, there is a group right here. So the overblast will still work. But what you can actually do is if you overblast near one Zebesian to the other, you can actually kind of rig it to where when you overblast one and Samus does the backflip, boom, you can land on another one just like that, yeah! What in the world? What? Wow, has anyone ever seen this glitch before? I mean, I'm dead, but wow, I've never seen that before. I'm actually kind of impressed. Wow.
Samus, what's going on? Respond! Respond!
Wow, man, that was bizarre. I've never seen that before. Is that even, like, a well-known glitch? I think what happened is that I overblasted twice, backflipped, like, into the wall, and then clipped into this lava pit right here, because once I went out of bounds, I was taking damage like I was in the lava or something like that. That's really bizarre. I don't know if that's a well-known glitch or not. I guess this is a good time to talk about how Other is pretty technically sound. As far as kind of the construction of the game is concerned, there are very few glitches. In fact, that's probably like the only glitch that I've ever seen before. I don't know if there were any other significant glitches, really, but there was one game-breaking bug, though, in this game, as we're gonna get an energy part. That should be another tank, right? There we go. No, I guess not. Oh yeah, because I already got another tank whenever I did that one back in the lava area. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, this one has a bug very similar to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, because in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, I believe it was one of those caverns that had one of the cannons that could shoot you to the sky or something like that. But if you saved in that room and you did something wrong, you wouldn't be able to exit that room and it was game over, which really sucked in Twilight Princess, because at that point you're nearing like one of the final dungeons of the game. But Metroid Other M has something very similar back in the room where we got the ice beam. I think if you backtrack up right there and you save, the doors will actually stay locked and you won't be able to progress any further. I really thought I had dodged out of the way of that one right there, so watch out for that if you are playing Other M. Interestingly enough, you could send like your Wii system into Nintendo or something like that, and they would actually fix that problem right there, as that is not what I wanted to do. That was the opposite. Get out of the way. Holy crap. I do not want to die again, although I did die just because of... What in the world is going on? I could have sworn I dodged out of that one too. But I would rather not die, even though it wasn't really my fault last time. But, you know, details. Okay, let's go ahead and get up here, as that large tentacle monster is doing something quite unpleasant. Oh, come on. What I have to do is I have to get in this thing right here. There we go. Whew, just made it. Whew. Very tense moment right here, but I can do it.
Samus, activate the Varia feature on your suit to protect yourself from heat damage.
Yeah, but why am I getting this now? Why didn't you do it the moment that I entered one of these heat areas? Well, remember how I said it was kind of the cool effect? Okay, no. Get out. Let me go. Okay, there we go. And remember how I said I thought the moment that we got the ice beam was just kind of like in Sakamoto's head, it was probably like a cool factor, like all of a sudden a power-up or something like that. I think maybe that was another one right here. You're facing down this giant monster right here. It looks really big and threatening. Maybe Sakamoto just thought, okay, you know, we've had our fun forcing them to go through the lava area while taking damage. You know, we made it nice and tense. We just got done with another segment where you had to climb up this volcano, still taking damage, and that was really tense because the lava was rising and stuff like that. Maybe now I'll finally give them the Various suit or something like that. Maybe that was the logic. I mean, that's really the only thing I can think of. But then again, that's still like a piss-poor justification from a narrative standpoint, like, blah. But enough of that bickering aside, this is one of the major bosses of Sector 3 right here. We have, I don't really know what this is. It looks like a, I don't know, like some kind of dragon thing, maybe? I'm not really sure, but it looks pretty cool. This is another one of those boss designs that I actually do really enjoy. Not as much as that lava fish that we saw earlier, but I do enjoy this one right here. Okay, so the first phase right there is taking down the bulbous red thing on his neck here, and now what we have to do is kind of dodge out of the way of the hands, which are now flaming, because I guess now we've really pissed him off. So now that he's done that, we can actually charge up our ice beam all the way, shoot it, and now you may be tempted to use a missile, but you can overblast up here, get on top of this ugly thing's skull, and boom! Now that is some damage right there, and it looks really awesome to boot. Again, an image that we could not have in a 2D Metroid or a Prime game, really. Although, don't get me wrong, the Prime games definitely had their moments of Samus being a badass against major enemies, but you couldn't really have an action-filled one like we had right there, which is just pretty cool stuff. Which does make me appreciate Other M a bit more, because I don't know, we just had never seen anything like this in a Metroid game before, and I get the feeling that we're not going to see like it, we're not going to see anything like this after, just because of kind of the stigma that Other M has now, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because I don't think that an action-based Metroid is like the worst idea ever. I think maybe with a bit more refinement and, you know, better thought put into the story and the narrative and things like that, yeah, I don't know, I feel like this could really be a success. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll say right now that I do think Other M is ultimately a success in the gameplay department. Maybe it's not a rocketing success and things like that, but I wouldn't call it a failure by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know. Again, there are just some ideas in here that I feel like could really work, but there's just that stigma, you know? But alright, this is going to be the final hit. Pump it in! And I gotta say, after looking at just the base power suit for so long, guys, I really actually do like the Various suit in Other M, just the way this works. Maybe I've just become really used to it because it's what both Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate would ultimately use. And oh god, you guys already, how did you survive the lava? Okay. Maybe I'm just kind of desensitized to it, but I really do enjoy the design. Again, you know, kind of prefer the Prime 2 Echo's design. Kind of, I guess, more of the shading that they used on it. I don't mind the suit being all, like, shiny in this one. It makes sense that such high-tech armor wouldn't really take extreme damage over time or something like that. Which is why I don't really buy into the school of thought that Samus is, that her suit should, like, be, like, battle-hardened and worn. You know, stuff like that. No, I think, you know, a super high-tech suit would be able to either repair itself or just not take that type of visual damage to begin with, but I don't know. I guess I do kind of like the bulkiness of the Prime titles a bit more, though. Yep, really good strategy for these guys to just freeze them and then overclock them just by standing right on top of them. But again, you could just use the missiles. That actually might be a bit more quick right there, but what you want to watch out for is that these guys love to hide behind like the stone and the lava structures right here, which can be really annoying. But I don't think I even really need to take these guys down. I don't think they just kind of obstruct your path and it's kind of annoying, but you don't have to do it. I might actually do that now, although we're not taking damage anymore thanks to the Various suit, so I'm not really in a rush to get out of here or anything like that. Yeah, that's one of the ones that'll ambush you right there, but I don't think it might not even be worth it to take them down, honestly. I mean, yeah, he's got to follow me. He sounds angry, but I'm tough beans, dude. You have to follow me down here if you want to take me down. I'll do the same for him, too. Yeah, this is one of those instances where they're just not really obstructing you too much, and I'd rather just get out of here. And I don't think there are any power-ups in here to reveal either, so the motivation to actually take down all the enemies is even less. Because you could make the argument, and I do feel like, you know, this is kind of a valid criticism, that why would you take down the enemies whenever you have a space like this that you can maneuver across? Well, for one, it's kind of like what the Prime series would do from time to time, to where the doors won't even open if you don't take them down. But two, I mean, of course, you want to reveal, like, the location of all the power-ups and stuff like that. It looks like that is a dead Morph Ball slot, huh? Could have swore we could have done something right there, but I suppose not. Nah, back at the main elevator, but I think we want to go ahead and explore this sector just a tiny bit more before we go in, because we are still indeed going after that mysterious creature that we have not seen since. Although I can only assume that it is pretty resistant to lava if it was able to get through all of those volcanic areas, and yeah, they are definitely volcanic and stuff like that. Too bad the volcano didn't explode. There's been a substantial lack of things exploding in this game so far. Alright, a few more Zabesians right here, huh? Shouldn't be a problem. Taken down your kind tons of times before. And did that guy die from friendly fire? I don't even know if that is a thing in this game, but these guys are taking pretty heavy damage from the ice beam now that we've got it. Oh! There we go. Nice. Man, I still just cannot get over that glitch that we saw back in the lava floor room. That was just really weird. I've never seen anything like that. And again, Other Rim is not a freaking glitchy game. This is not a Sonic 06 where things are like unplayable. I guess I just hit a really weird sweet spot or something like that. I don't know. I'd be interested to see if that has ever happened to anyone else before. Yeah, guess we don't need the grapple beam yet, do we, Adam?